I have no confidence that the Carolina Hurricanes can win the Stanley Cup. My confidence in the Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup is near zero. I think they are a very well-built organization. The general manager makes some phenomenal moves. You take a look at the move that they made for Jake Guentzel, as well as Evgeny Kuznetsov at the trade deadline. I don't think it will be enough. Before we start ragging on what the Carolina Hurricanes can't do or won't do in the playoffs, let's talk about what they can do and what they've been able to do in the last few months. Specifically, their special teams. Their power play and penalty kill is ranked second in the NHL, respectively in both. 26.4% on the power play. They are a really, really good hockey team. They're just not built for the Stanley Cup. So you're going to take a look at some statistics here and think to yourself, what do you mean? They're third in goals against, seventh in goals for? They're at least top five when it comes to Stanley Cup contention. I don't even think it's close. I think there's a potential they could be on fraud watch. Let's start by talking about the goaltending here. Freddy Andersen has shown that he can perform in the playoffs. He can. We saw it last year. We saw it the year before that. Freddy Andersen has been sensational when he needs to be. That's not every game, though. When it comes to goaltenders, I would rather have Ilya Sorokin, Linus Ullmark, Jeremy Swayman, and potentially Andrei Vasilevsky in 2024 over Freddy Andersen. Now, that's just in the East. Let's talk about the West. Jay Goncher, Thatcher Demko, Aiden Hill, and you think Freddy Andersen can compete with that? Another argument that you could make is Andrei Svechnikov. He's been good. He's been really good, actually, since his injury, and a lot of people expected him to take a backseat role, especially coming off of that knee injury last year. But the playoffs are a faster game, and with the likes of Sebastian Aho, always great, but not spectacular in the playoffs, and I believe that's what you need when it comes to winning a Stanley Cup. We see a common trend when it comes to the playoffs, and that's in the bottom six. When the Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup in 2017, Nick Bonino, Carl Hagelin, Phil Kessel, Matt Cullen, these were all guys that provided on the bottom six. If you look at more recently, you want to take a look at the 2021 Tampa Bay Lightning with Anthony Cirelli, Andre Palat. Those guys really stepped up when the top guys aren't there. So when you look at the bottom six, you see Jasper Frass, Jordan Martinook. These guys are good, but we're going to need spectacular play when it comes to the Stanley Cup, especially the second and third round. When the playoffs hit, expected that a lot of things won't change. Carolina Hurricanes will probably play either the Washington Capitals or the Philadelphia Flyers, and I expect Carolina to win. I really do. I expect Carolina to win probably in 6 or 5 games in both series. When it comes to the second round, they'll more than likely play the New York Rangers, and I don't see a world where they can beat the Rangers again. The Rangers will have home ice, Madison Square Garden. It's very tough to beat New York 4 times in 7 games with Madison Square Garden. That's a tough go around. Now I'll throw out a little bit of a hot take here. I think if the New York Islanders can sneak into the playoffs, I truly believe the New York Islanders can beat the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. Ilya Sorokin, as well as that defense by Ryan Pulock and Adam Pelech, I think with the way that team is constructed, they can shut down Sebastian Aho in the neutral zone like they did with Pittsburgh in 2020, 2021 with that bubble. We've seen the Islanders do it time and time again against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the conference finals. They did end up losing back-to-back years, but they did reach the conference finals. That is a sleeper team when it comes to the playoffs, but it's not about the Islanders right now. It's about the Carolina Hurricanes. I think I'm willing to take my shot. Carolina Hurricanes will lose in the second round. Now what? Very hard to say what Carolina can do or can't do in the free agency when they have $8 million tied up in Dmitry Orlov, and they traded for Jake Guentzel, which when you look at the trade is not too bad, but they traded away 3 prospects, a third-round pick, as well as Michael Bunting. Bunting was a very, very good depth piece, but Jake Guentzel's a major upgrade. I don't expect Jake Guentzel to return to Carolina. I don't think they'll be able to get it done. When it comes to right now, Carolina with Evgeny Kuznetsov, Andrei Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Jake Guentzel, and Teuvo Teravainen, I just don't think it's going to be enough. I hope I'm wrong.